Mike Fisher reporting from Frisco on a breezy and chilly Christmas Eve night as the Cowboys get ready right over there for the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday in a play-in playoff game. Here's the injury update, first of all, as we know it right now, and I'll give you an update in a little bit if we find out more. Michael Gallup should be good to go with the hip, not a problem there. So the wide receiver weaponry completely in place. Ezekiel Elliott is doing something. Still limited, in limited mode, is what Mike McCarthy said on Thursday morning. But Ezekiel Elliott has a lot of reasons to play here. One of them is because he wants to help his fellas. Another one is because he's a tough guy, and tough guys like to prove it. Another one is there's little competition from the little brother. So let's settle the issue, first of all, between the Pollard versus Zeke thing. It doesn't have to be versus. And I know this would I'd probably get 10,000 more views if I said versus and put it in the headline and put it on the screen. And it doesn't have to be versus. There's room for both of them. Assuming the Cowboys offense runs well enough against a bad Eagles team, all right, mediocre Eagles team, whatever. There should be enough offensive snaps to use both guys. There should be third down opportunities to use Tony Pollard as a real running back. It doesn't have to be a gimmick. It doesn't have to be 50-50. It could be in terms of game flow, but they should both play. And especially if Ezekiel Elliott is a little hobbled, then get a little extra juice out of him. Get a little extra milk out of him by milk out of the bell cow. Get it? By letting the other calf run around a little bit. That's farm talk, by the way, in case you don't know what I'm talking about. The Woods brothers, who aren't actually brothers, problems there. Antoine Woods, who coming off, I thought, a good game against the Niners. He's not doing much in practice, if at all. Xavier Woods, the safety, not doing much at practice, if at all. Now, at defensive tackle, they've got enough big bodies with Gallimore and Hamilton that they can probably plug in some people there. And then not a big body, but somebody that can play inside and help. And maybe you have Gallimore move over and let some three technique go to Tyrone Crawford. Tyrone Crawford, by the way, let's just call this an educated prediction. I think Tyrone Crawford might retire after this year. So we're talking a lot about how this could be Sean Lee's last home game as a Dallas Cowboy or in pro football. Might be Tyrone Crawford's last home game too. So keep your eyes and ears open for that one. And if it turns out to be true, then it's a scoop and you heard it here first. If it turns out to be false, I'll deny even knowing what you're talking about. So plugging in a defensive tackle, that's doable. Plugging in at safety is a little tougher. Darian Thompson to be the safety next to Donovan Wilson, they're not going to be able to cover anybody. And here comes an Eagles offense that can use two tight ends on you. In one of them's named Dallas and one of them's named Ertz. And when healthy, they're both pretty good. I don't know what Dallas does there. I really don't. I think there's reasons to worry there about whether or not Donovan Wilson is really a cover safety, because I don't think he is. We already know that Darian Thompson isn't. I don't know what Darian is great at, but it's not that. Work ethic guy and a good guy, but you know he's not a playmaker. He's not a ball hawk. He's not a cover guy. He's not a run stopper, but he might be your next safety up. Now Reggie Robinson, the rookie and the pet cat of Will McClay, maybe he's in this mix somewhere. I bet you he can cover. And then Mike McCarthy talked in our presser on Thursday morning about cross training. Hey, some cornerbacks could go play safeties. We could move some guys over there, but who? Jordan Lewis obviously has the ability to play inside. You want Jordan Lewis covering a tight end? That seems tough. Chido Awuzie is somebody that they've talked about having position flex ever since he's been here. Really haven't done much with it. So I think that's a problem. I think Jalen Hurts will get a chance to demonstrate that he can throw to a tight end. And he's got two of them. Hurts to Ertz might be a little bit of a Cowboy problem. So on offense, you should have your weaponry, including Ezekiel Elliott. You'll have the offensive line, such as it is, missing two future Hall of Famers and another good player in Lyle Collins, and obviously the retirement of Travis Frederick too, another Pro Bowl guy. That counts if you wanted to. But at least this group has played together now. This group has had a chance. This will be week 3 of this same group together. And so Mike McCarthy's talked a lot about continuity. In fact, he used continuity as the reason to make fun of us for suggesting that Zach Martin should move to tackle, which is more important than guard, which Zach Martin could play just as well. And they were running out of tackles at the time, but they had extra guards. And then finally we got to Minnesota, and they finally did it. So consistency in the offensive line is important unless it's not. But McCarthy thinks it's been important for these last couple weeks, and we'll see how this group works together. We've talked about Jalen Hurts, who I think deserves to be a headline guy here, because the wide receiving group in Philadelphia has been something less than spectacular. I think Miles Sanders, the running back, has a chance to have a spectacular career, but that hasn't happened yet. And so, it's a quarterback league, and this is the NFL, so guess what? A lot of it boils down to Andy Dalton for your team and for Jalen Hurts for their team. Dalton met with the media today. I think he is settled in to being what he is here, and what he is a good bus driver. And that doesn't make him Dak Prescott, but that's a something. It's a start. It's the foundation maybe of his next chapter of Andy Dalton's career. Cowboys, by the way, say, Stephen Jones said, we'd like to have him back. I don't know how that works. If Andy Dalton has used this year as a springboard to going back and being a starter, and that was his original plan, then obviously he doesn't come back here. If Andy Dalton is now, there's that wind I talked about, is Andy Dalton going to look at this season, and again, 2 more games left, and say, well, this proves that I'm not really a starter anymore. I'm just solid. I should be somebody's backup. Then you have a crack at it. Of course, Andy Dalton would love to find a way to stay in Dallas because of his family. He's got his lovely home, that is mansion, in the Park Cities that he built about 5 years ago, as he told me. You can find that video, by the way, here on the Fish Report. We have 3. I think we have a couple visits with Andy Dalton. So dig for him and find him. He's really good, and we enjoyed our time with him. And it'd be great if he stayed. Smart guy, good player, but probably a bus driver now at this point in his career at age 31. Can you keep Andy Dalton as the backup quarterback here and pay him the way you pay him now? Not very much. I think it's a great idea. I don't know that even though that's Steven's plan, I don't know that that's exactly the plan of the player. And then there's Jalen Hurts. And we did a story on Sports Illustrated on this, CowboysSI.com, on the relationship that he has with Dak Prescott. And not very many people know about this, partially because he keeps it quiet. Jalen Hurts, he is a little bit like Dak Prescott is in that I don't think you're going to know a lot about his personal life over the course of his career. He'll let you know what he wants you to know. But Hurts did reveal that when he was looking at colleges, of course he ended up at Alabama first and then Oklahoma in the end as a Heisman Trophy finalist, that he also took a visit to Mississippi State, where the guy that hosted him was none other than, makes sense if you think about it, Dak Prescott. Jalen Hurts had the chance to go to Mississippi State and be the next Dak Prescott there, which is a good thing there. Instead, obviously, he did okay for himself, Alabama and then Oklahoma. So those two guys know each other. They are cut from some similar cloth, I think. Certainly we know Dak and his leadership and character, and then the pluses and minuses of his game. And Jalen Hurts has a lot of that same stuff. Way more pluses than minuses, of course, although the Cowboys, as much as regional fans, because he's Oklahoma, regional fans, I think, have a certain affection for him. Same as Kyler Murray from Allen and now with the Arizona Cardinals. But, for 3 hours on Sunday, that's probably not the way Cowboys Nation is going to roll. That is assuming that you see the value in attempting to win. And because you've got the Redskins going head-to-head with you, almost half-hour difference between the two game starts, you won't know their results. So there is wisdom in Mike McCarthy. The NFL let him off the hook in terms of a decision having to be made about how do we really treat this when they moved the Washington-Carolina game to the afternoon. So the Cowboys will approach that game like they need to and want to win it. And as far as they know, over the course of that game, it'll be the same way. And chances are the Washington game will be close because they're a little distracted and lost. And chances are the Cowboys game will be close because if the Cowboys win, that generally figures to be the way it's going to go. We will be at AT&T Stadium, of course. We will also be with you on Christmas. My wife doesn't know that yet, but we'll be here. Don't tell your spouse, but we'll sneak off 10 or 20 or 30 minutes and hang out here. And then once again, as always, I thank you for you subscribing to what we do here and enjoying what we do here. The Ezekiel Elliott bowling shoes are going to be yours very shortly. We're going to get 17,000 people, 17,000 in Cowboy Nation. Tell your friends. Let's get that rolling, and let's get you some Zeke. And then after that, we'll get you some Dez swag here on the Fish Report with Mike Fisher. Fish in Frisco.